Yo, yo. Okay, so the reason I'm actually late is because I was like, fuck, I haven't actually prepared a song for today. And, yeah, it's gonna be very late too, probably. So I think that I'm just gonna skip it. For today, anyways. Let's see. I do not have the right. There we go. I need to put up my face cam. There we go. I am doing surprisingly okay, actually, despite having been awake like all night because I watched RT stream Metopia for like 10 hours while I did sleep for like at least a few hours during that. But I was there. I had the entire stream running in the background at the very least. He wanted to finish it, but then there were like some other complications that happened and just, you know. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to post on fucking Instagram. Let's see. Yeah, he did, because he didn't manage to finish it because of the complications last night. So he had to go back and finish it. And I was awake until like 9, 10 a.m. I'm not really sure. And then I had like some groceries coming in at around 2. So I had to wake up at 2. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I have only slept like a couple hours. So I think I'm just gonna go and sleep until 5. And then I wake up at 5 and I see that he started streaming like 45 minutes ago. And I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't know he was gonna stream today. I thought it was like next week or something. But yeah, I guess not. It's okay though. He really streamed for so long. And he got to like the end of this area and he was like, okay, yes, let's go. And then you just get transported to another area and he was like, well, shit. Well, he finished it now. He has actually finished it. It was great. I cried a bit. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a fake. Well, it is a fake out because you like get to the end of like a fucking tower, and like the character you're with is like, oh yeah, he is not here. He's literally in space, and you're like, well. Your princess is in another castle. Yeah, I believe that's actually like the joke that he made too. So, okay, I believe I'm ready now. Well, actually, I gotta wait for it to post first, don't I? I think it's posted though. Okay, fine, it's fine. Ha! Okay. So, I guess with that we're gonna finish like the episode that we started last time, The Adventure of the Cloud Kokoro Part 1. I believe we're gonna go see Herlock next. Can I, history. Can I actually get like the— oh, I can! Yeah, we're going to see Herlock. Oh, nice! Nice. What movie was it? So we gotta move to— a new location has been added. Yay, let's go 221B Baker Street, the home and office of the most famous detective in the world. Isn't it something like 221B Baker Street is actually in Marylebone Street or something? Like you have like the... Is it the... God, I know that there are like 2 Sherlock locations. One of them is at 221B Baker Street and the other one is in 221B Marylebone Street, I believe. I may be wrong. Hold on. One of them is the Sherlock Holmes Museum, but I don't know. Hold on, wait. Sherlock Holmes Museum. Yeah, okay, so the museum is in 221B Baker Street. There's something like that, I don't fucking know. Lupin III, the castle of Cagliostro? Is it one of your old movies? Anyways, wait. When street numbers were reallocated in the 1930s, the block of odd numbers from 215 to 229 was assigned to an Art Deco building known as Abbey House, constructed in 1932 for the Abbey Road Building Society, which is a society and its successor, which subsequently became Abbey National plc, occupied until 2002. So... The street number 221B was assigned to the Sherlock Holmes Museum on March 27th, 1990, replacing the logical address 239 Baker Street when the leader of Westminster City Council unveiled a blue plaque signifying the address of 221B Baker Street. Okay, that's it. So it's technically not 221B. It's technically 239. I guess. Something like that. Of course, it's an old movie. Anyways. Enough of this tangent. Let's just go visit Sholmes already. What happened to his... Oh no, that one frame!
In the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
The movie's from 1979. Damn. Oh, look at this. How many BBC Sherlock references can you see? That's like the Sherlock media I'm most familiar with, unfortunately. Much to my chagrin. Well, it's the postcards. That's about it that I can see. Right, the little cutscenes are great. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Is it as described in the stories, Mr. Soto? Susato-san? Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it! The romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? I don't think it's VR that's been shot into the wall. There is something similar in BBC Sherlock too. Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Yeah, it was a smiley face. Please, don't mind me. Ah, she's obsessed. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Who this? Oh.
Hello. Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello. I don't remember the voice I gave her. Wait, aren't you...
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once.
I'm sure it's the same girl. Mr. Sato, did you see that girl who was just here?
Oh yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The King of Bohemia?
King Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund von Ormstein, of course.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there.
The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well.
Ah, it's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. There you are.
Taking that with you as well? I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber.
I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London.
Oh, yes, it was challenging. She like 9? I don't fucking know how old she is.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color?
Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend the Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck.
Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance?
Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Hurley? Mr. Sholmes, to you, surely. Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. I will not tolerate if she is his kid. Who are you? The Conan Doyle estate? How on earth does she know so much about us? Did you use all those things, do you think? In this case, I will be.
And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Well, no, technically not Phoenix. How many games? 10? Oh, we have the trilogy, and we have Apollo Justice, and then we have, oh no, there are more than 10. And then we have the 2 investigations game. No, there are 10. And then we have Dual Destinies, Spirit of Justice, and then we have the Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2, so 10. Actually, 11 if you count the crossover with Professor Layton. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo, indeed. Indeed.
Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Hurley.
I believe it's just like his great-grandfather or something. Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter?
No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden?
Yes, that's right. And what are your names?
Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely. Susie and Runo. Got it. Susie?
And Runo. There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start. Runo? I guess it's easier to say than the R-Y-O sound. Or you, I guess. R-Y-U. Which in Japanese is Ryu. But saying that in English is kind of hard. It's like Ryu, right? It's like Ryu. It doesn't really work that well. Like Ryu. Ryu.
Yes, and so do I.
Alright, let's just look around this room first. Alright, let's start all the way over in the corner and just go over. What on earth is this huge over-the-top machine?
That's a great analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really. Anything at all. That's absolutely incredible. It's one of Hurley's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations.
What sort of things has he analyzed with it? Do you know?
Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet.
Oh. Why not?
Apparently, on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him. I don't actually have anything I need to analyze.
Oh dear.
How about you, Bruno? Do you have anything you'd like to analyze?
The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself. Why are there all those bullet holes in the wall up there? Was Mr. Sholmes trying to shoot a pestry fly or something?
Mr. Sholmes would never do something so reckless.
No?
Those are the letters VR.
Oh, it fucking is VR! Standing for Victoria Regina is Latin for Queen Victoria. Oh, Victoria Regina then. Damn! So you mean he shot the queen into the wall?
In a moment of boredom, Mr. Sholmes adorned the wall with a patriotic sign. That's all, as pistol practice.
Right, that makes perfect sense now.
It's exactly as it's described in the stories. Oh, this is delightful.
I'm not sure what the real explanation is any less reckless than shooting at a fly, personally.
It's patriotic, Mr. Naruhodo. Patriotic.
Sure, let's go with that. There's all sorts in these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never even seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
I keep telling Hurley not to cram so much on those shelves.
Good advice.
He wanted to look something up in one of those books a while ago. But it was so tightly wedged in, he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead.
What a mood, honestly. Oh, violin. Let's go. Ah, I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, isn't it?
Of course it is. Mr. Shams is renowned for his violin playing.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational. I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find.
What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London.
Oh, yes. Well, perhaps I did. Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one, but after a while he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. So now it's merely an ornament in my room.
That must have been an awkward conversation. I get achievements for just looking around at things. I just got an achievement. Alright, nothing more on this side of the room. There we go. Oh, the knife. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Naruhodo is very simple. He likes the fireplace. Sir, lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate. It's so relaxing.
We can't relax. No, when there are so many interesting things on the mantelpiece.
Mantelpiece, I can speak.
Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories.
He likes hot. It is?
Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example, are my chocolates for 11s. And transfixed by that large jackknife is my shopping list for the market. Oh, it's not quite how I remember it being described in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Poor Susato-san. She looks crushed. Just like von Zeke's.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. What an entrancing collection!
This is the first time in my life that I've seen a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament.
Oh, those are all mementos that Hurley has collected from his past cases.
Really? Even the bust?
Yes, that's right. When the mood takes him, he likes to throw it on the floor and smash it to dust.
Does he just have like an infinite supply of Napoleon busts? The poor defenseless emperor? Mr. Shams destroys it? The fuck is making noise? Don't know.
Yes, and then he buys a new one.
You make it sound like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor. Kind of like a stomping sound, but like more hard, I guess. I don't know how to describe it.
Ah, how entrancingly bohemian of him.
Okay, that's just nothing. I see. Table. Or chest. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Ooh, that chest contains some of my most valuable things.
And that smile tells me you're not going to give us any clue about what they are. Interesting. Alright. Wrong way. Still getting used to the buttons on this thing. Here we go. She really is. She is idolizing her luck way too much. It's not fucking healthy. That's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too.
Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode.
Explode? Oh, the one over there. I just noticed the succulent case. Very pretty.
Are they exotic chemicals? You use them for exciting experiments? Yes, indeed. And as Hurley always says, chemistry is an explosive science.
Sorry?
I agree. A single discovery can trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world.
Or perhaps he just meant it literally. Either way, mental note, do not touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. I love this music. What on earth is that big black lump over there?
Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly quickly too.
Oh, that sounds like it could be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. Sorry, Naruhodo, it's still gonna be a while for there to be developed a Japanese typewriter. I literally watched a fucking video on YouTube about this the other fucking day. About like how typewriters have evolved into like keyboards and just... Well, true. True, you're not wrong that he has to write in English for clients since he now is in England. So that makes sense, but still. Just in general, for Japanese, that's gonna be a bit difficult.
Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter. What does that mean?
Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'll come back to that blackboard later. Okay, I see. So there's something about the blackboard. What a beautiful English tea set, and so neatly arranged.
It's a favorite pastime of mine. A cup of herbal tea in the afternoon.
Tea made of herbs.
That's right. I grow all sorts of herbs in the garden, so I can experiment with different blends. One moment. Don't go away. I'll brew a pot of the special blend I came up with earlier today.
She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink. Is that it? I believe that's it. Cool. Sweet. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
You mean this one? Like this?
Exactly.
Ah, thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade.
Oh, Ginny, yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in...
Self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. Why could I... I really struggle with saying that. This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Jeannie back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusted technician.
Sorry, your technician?
Hurley, of course, silly.
Hurley?
Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not likely.
What? You're good. He is not the father.
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
Well, then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes?
Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate.
Your roommates? I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
10 at last this year.
You weren't far off. Well, what of your mother and father?
Oh no, they're not around.
Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you.
Of course. Go ahead, Susie.
I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and...
Oh, you have a copy of Ren's magazine.
Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories?
That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think?
Goodness!
Last night, he was telling me all about the new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came.
So you are the author?
Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band.
The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course, I know that the snake that might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you?
So, do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine?
All right, mind me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter.
But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susato-san is getting more and more worked up. Never meet your heroes, true.
Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson.
But what about the doctor of medicine part?
That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine.
No, at 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
Well, that's quite incredible. What? No, she's crying. Susato. I am so sorry. I am so sorry you had to have your dreams crushed.
Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling.
Oh.
Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow.
I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Oh no, I feel so sorry for her. About before.
Yes? What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me.
How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean?
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that?
The youngest PhD holder in the world was a 13-year-old boy called Carl Witt. This was in 1800. Interesting. I don't know what else to say to that.
Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that?
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs.
The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed the red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspects, weren't you, earlier today? They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at the local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see. Her deduction skills are better than Herlock's.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he'd caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling.
A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been...
Mr. Natsume! Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Sissy? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both came from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
I love her.
There is a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
Indeed, I'll fucking say. It was spot on.
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction.
You even managed to certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that.
This is really very good news.
You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please?
So, yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently, a woman was stabbed in a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Sosuke-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all.
Hurley used his great detective powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police. And what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear.
Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective.
Susato, you... She's in denial. She's in denial. Oh my god. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh.
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person.
That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is. But in that case, I don't hold up much hope for Suzuki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Natsume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Oh, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem."
Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Yeah, we found a dude who might have done it. Don't care if he actually did, but whatever, let's send him to the gallows. Pretty much. That's the greatest justice system in the world, according to the greatest attorney.
Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris.
But...
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime.
But, like, her... Oh, can I look on the back of this? Indeed. Okay, so her name is Wilson, right? And I'm just like thinking, is the John H. Wilson from the first case related to her? Or was that just like an alias? Or I guess a nom de plume that she just came up with? Like, I can't tell. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene where Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. I guess she would have gotten a telegram if it was her dad. Yeah, like, I don't know, surely, like, she would mention that he was dead or something, unless it's something that she's trying to hide, I don't know. I just knew her name was Iris Wilson to begin with. That's about it, okay. Part 2. Let's see how far we get. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation.
Perfect! So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? Sorry to say, I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts. That's for sure.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? From her ladyship? Sir, she is 10 years old. Her ladyship? Give that here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right, for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me, every time.
Yes, yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Of course, though using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
Ah, the little knife-wielding mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in the right old hovel. It's just over there. Look. He lived there all along? Are you shitting me? Really? Really? On the first floor in that house in the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garrideb. Right, well, if you see her again, make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now then. And long live her ladyship.
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings?
Definitely.
Where did the window come from? May I help you? Ah, yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Indeed it would, sir. And how may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our clients.
One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrideb. Did you see that, Mrs. Soto? That was a real-life English maid.
I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it?
We need only to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiments. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrideb will see you now. This way. His head is shaped like a moon. Like a crescent moon. Okay, time to examine a bit. Interesting.
This window looks out over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked.
Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. I'll take a look at the floor later, by the way.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly.
Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then.
That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner.
Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. Sorry. Anyways. You ain't straight. Naruhodo. What? That old thing. Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it. But the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
There appears to be an inscription of on the medal itself. Look! Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation."
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. It literally is a participation trophy! Also, I don't think you should stir your coffee with your pipe. All the tobacco would surely fall out at the top. The uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
It's clearly been well looked after, though.
That old thing. Puh, not much better than rags, really. Maybe he likes a tobacco-flavored coffee. You know, you're right. Fair, very fair. Perhaps it's just what he's into. Or that ceremonial gob at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past. Me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia laying around, does it?
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Why do you have a fucking cannon in your living room? That's a full-size cannon! What's it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
Who would have a fucking replica of a cannon in their living room? That old thing. Ah, that's little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. You never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, as I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy.
Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garadeb?
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garadeb. Do you enjoy reading? For experienced London winter boy, the nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Rand's magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garadeb enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes too.
The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem.
Look at that enormous screen! It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder?
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Ahem, ahem! Since his face looks like a moon, does not Joan's face look a bit like a sun? With the hat as the beams? You're right! Interesting. Maybe let's not, Mr. Soto. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem! Alright.
Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garadeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea.
That sounds delightful.
Or even worse, it's tea. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, and it would never do to waste leftovers. Do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrett doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you.
This whole candle holder looks a little out of place here. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing. Yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack, really. Oh. Used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. I know it's old. Hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, still has its uses sometimes. Like in murder!
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it?
They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories.
Oh my god, there's still fucking more. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it?
Oh my! A genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shells seem to be broken. And the crockery is... oh dear. It's in pieces.
It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice.
Ah! I wonder... perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. Okay, now I'm done over here. And then we have these two. Day to you. John Garridab at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
If it was the cannon, then the wall would be gone, Susato. Well, you know, she is not very good at deducting, like, irises. I guess Herlock too, but especially Iris. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maywand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service, handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he is a retired soldier. Bet he just showed up, just like kind of twisted his ankle, and went home. Therefore the participation trophy. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garridab, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Dash it all, woman! Be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right?
Yes, we will be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only two, please, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you are aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house. Would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea. All that detective business.
Oh, but You have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so...
Eh? No. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Sosuke-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Tell me about Miss Natsume.
About Miss Natsume then, Mr. Gardev. Please, do tell us.
Yes. The Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? Hold on, I just want to see how long this chapter is. Just in general. A bit left. A bit more left. So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. There'd been... Ah! Dash it all, Joan! Do be careful! Oh, my goodness! I'm terribly sorry, sir. Joan, you're acting really sussy right now. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him.
Oh, why?
It's because he's Japanese. He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. It's called having anxiety? The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. Right, she silences Mr. Gardev every time he's about to say something. Something of value, and she's just like, oh no, tea, more tea? Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, more tea? Do you want more tea? Tea? And I'm rarely wrong about anything. You won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all?
Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. What was so shady about him? Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes! The man was shadier than an orchard.
Could you elaborate?
Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And that is shady. I see. And he never so much as pauses the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. It's called having anxiety. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night, but I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning in British time would be... I want to say jet lag, but how can you be jet lag if you arrive by boat? I mean, it's probably gonna like mess up your internal clock a little bit, but also he's been here for like half a year already, hasn't he? So maybe he just likes it. Maybe he just likes it at late at night when it's so quiet and just, you know, everything is so calm. Ah.
Can you clarify something, I wonder?
What, pray?
How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
No!
I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct?
That's right. Oh no, he's sweating. They're both shady. Okay. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level.
Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the time they go to bed.
Fucking knew it. Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman! Oh my goodness, sir! I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. Maybe he thinks of them as his kids, just looking out for them. But he can't... He doesn't go outside much. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrideb household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan?
No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh, I see.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well, yes? Was there something then? Well, there's nothing particularly significant, but at around that sort of time here and... For the love of God, Joan! Watch what you're doing! Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrowhollow. Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory as far as I remember. Nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garrideb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really nothing of... Joan, dash it all, what's the matter with you, woman?
Begging your pardon, sir? Nothing happened.
Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quite uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Garrideb. Something did happen then, yeah, exactly. What is the matter with these two?
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
I wish I knew. What about his room? Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak.
Yes, told me Natsu's name, had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services.
That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. But didn't he say that that room, like, just became occupied like a week ago? And he has like lived in London for half a year. Methinks Soseki actually... Was it a year? I don't fucking know. It's something. It's either half a year or a year. I'm not sure. Anyways, methinks Soseki actually lived on the ground floor. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we?
Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Ugh. Cat! There is a cat! Cat! Ah! Okay, yeah, no, this is definitely his room. What? Just look at this place. Smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. I think I just saw a glimpse into my future. I mean, I wish I could like get back to reading books. I just like don't have the attention span for it anymore. And the last time I read books, I had to like read pages like several times, and I was like, did I even get anything that just happened? Or did I just read the words and not actually comprehend what they were saying? And I just decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm giving up. Like, I started reading the Harry Potter books. I read the first two. And then I get to the third book. And I get like halfway. And I just forget where I'm at. That's happened twice. Or is it third or is it fourth? I don't fucking know. It's one of them.
Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time. For some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way,
the books have to be really, really good for me to actually be able to read. Like, I don't read for absolute months, but if I have a good book, I will not sleep, eat, or work to finish it. Yeah. I remember that was me the first time I read the Harry Potter books, or attempted to read them anyways. I read, like, the second one in a couple days. And then I got to the third one and it just stopped.
I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you?
No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Okay, where do we think we're gonna find Sholmes? I low-key want to see him just like crouch down on top of one of the book towers, but I know that that's not gonna be very likely. Buried in the piles of books. They just toppled over while he was there. Not there, apparently. Alright, start in the top corner, as we always do, and just go back and forth. Oh, here we go. No Sholmes in sight, because he is in the ground floor. Dun dun dun! Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling.
They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
No, what a dreamy idea.
A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
Ah, so reading it isn't an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as a tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Could you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now.
So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy.
That's alarmingly feasible. In what world? Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive.
It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
What would they do if there was a fire? Like, I don't know what it's like other places in the world, but here in Norway, you're required to have a window in your bedroom so that you can use it as like a fire escape. So, if you decide to put your bedroom in a room where there is no window, that's technically not allowed. Because if there was a fire, how would you escape? Like, if there was a fire right outside your door, you're fucked.
I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
Yep. Same here. We also need to have like a rope or a ladder. Usually ladder. Look at the cat. This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too. Let me just Google this real quick.
Ah, I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo.
A gas meter?
Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter.
So, if we were to put a coin in the slot,
that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night.
So, if you're too poor to have a coin, you would have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold?
That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes.
Oh, London is a scary place.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop.
Your books. Okay. Oh yes. Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. Whose books? Yours books. Your books. Yours? Your books. So yeah, yours. That's the day of the incident.
That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Maneki-neko! Oh look! It's a beckoning cat from home!
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that maneki-neko all the way from Japan with him. I thought I put this on silent. I didn't, apparently.
I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting that enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage?
Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
It's not doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Okay, nothing about those. Oh, I really thought there was gonna be something with that, but I guess not. Just books, 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 books. Oh, there he is! Where did he come from? Where did he go? Hold on, I'm gonna check the cat first. You can just chill there for a while longer. Cat!
Oh my! What an adorable little cat! Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan.
This made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
So yeah, calico cat in Japanese is called mikeneko. And in one of the CD dramas, I believe, Apollo Mikineko is I can write it in chat. Hold on. Mikeneko. But in one of the CD dramas, he has a cat. He has a calico cat, and he calls it Mikeko. So he literally called his calico cat Calico. Wow, love that for him. Anyways, time to visit Herlock in the books.
Look, Miss Naruhodo!
Aha! There he is! Where did he appear from?
He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello? Mr. Sholmes?
Ah, you two. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes! We were together on the SS Buria.
Yes, of course, the Buria. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Sogi. He died, tragically, but you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it?
Oh!
Well, you seem to remember something of it at least.
What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes.
Susato, please.
This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madam. Hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Well, he at least got the names right, just the other way around. Yeah, try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course, and I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Swarovski-san in that short of short an amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there is no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose.
Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Alright. Tell me about his arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Sosuke Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Susato. But I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. I already have it. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties. Hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. Leisure. No, no, no.
Oh dear.
Okay, what about the landlord? Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services.
And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. Naruhodo has a maid kink confirmed. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness,
How extraordinary! As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrideb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I am thoroughly lost on what he means to say. Same, honestly. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Nah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have an idea? No window. Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. Surely, not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of the windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. And also a major fire hazard. And other hazards. What, considering the gas pipes? The very flammable books? Indeed, the siege was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see. In squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging. I discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Who is being murdered in this house? Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. The government wanted money, so they made a stupid law. I mean, it's up to code for the government. Well, still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure. On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes. Hold on. Yeah, okay, there's still a lot more left. It's fine. I'm still good. Just wanted to make sure. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us! I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Good job! A golden star for you! Never could have figured that one out myself. But actually, I believe the maid is hiding more. Mr. Garridebis? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrideb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. Well, you mentioned it, so surely it must be of some relevance. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Can I see him? Indeed. Look at him. There he is. There he sits. He said, if I fit, I sits. Taking a screenshot. Back to Mr. Garrideb's room we go. Oh, and there are no one here. We can look behind the screen or whatever the hell it was. Considering the game is spending time on it, it will become relevant later on. Yeah, exactly. Ah, damn it, I thought they were gone. Ah, you appear again. Tell me, what's the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. I fucking knew it. For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bolly well doing? What did he say, actually? I was looking at her pouring the... His head looks like a croissant. I was thinking it looks like a crescent moon. Though I guess a croissant also looks like a crescent moon, so, you know. Why don't you tell me what? Okay, he just wanted me to tell him something, I don't know. I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. I think it might be hard to get a hand of at least a fresh one right now. But, sure. If you want to get a croissant, go for it. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrett is hiding something. Or you could make one yourself, I guess. Or several. I don't really know how well it does to make just one croissant. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. He just popped right out of nowhere. That's great. Herlock, where are you standing? I mean, I'm sure you could air fry croissants. That post, what is he standing on? I assume there's like a radiator or something. But I don't fucking know. No, that is the wall texture right there. What? What is he standing on? What's he doing over there? Unless he's just like standing on the windowsill. Mr. Sholmes! Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Yeah, I also think the small brown portion is the windowsill. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir. At your service. Whatever were you doing over by the window? I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of burrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye to one's window at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Yes, let's fucking go! Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garrideb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. Oh no, the store is closed. That sucks. You can make one tomorrow then. Or get one tomorrow. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Eh? And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Schultz's conclusions are both spot on. How? How could you possibly? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Ah! And I know only too well that vile beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Yes, let's go! Yes! Topic 1. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these 4 walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Where is he looking? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. No, that's not where he was looking. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. Interesting. So it's something from India then. Is it a fucking tiger? Because he was shocked at the lion. Right, or he was just confused by the lion. But he was, I believe he was spot on about India. Wait, are tigers common in India? I know they're common in Asia, but maybe it's just an angry house cat. Who the fuck knows, really? Yet, living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Yeah, I figured, like, there are at least some kind of tigers that live in India. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me that with one glance in your direction. It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrideb. At Batty's Circus. Estimated only 2,967 tigers in existence in India. Interesting. A traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. Ah, so it's still here then. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. I don't think lions exist in India. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. A rampaging Asiatic lion. They do? Oh, that's news to me. I didn't know. I thought lions were only in Africa. What? Now, Mr. Garrideb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, You let your beloved beast go. Damn, really? I did not know that. The more you know, you learn stuff from Ace Attorney every single day. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. How, sir? Shams really just like chucks every single statement at the wall and just hopes something sticks, and then he goes from there. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Ah! For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so, you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. No, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the direct state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. Ah, it is a windowsill, okay, I see. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Wasn't that a lie? Like, she never actually said that. Yeah, it's supposed to be quoting Marie Antoinette, but she never actually said that. The British hate the French. Well, that makes sense, I guess. But, you're the Googler in this stream, so... You're the speed Googler. Can you find out what she actually said? And why it's like a common misconception? I mean, I guess it's because the British hate the French. That makes sense, but... Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of his final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. And that is why it's burnt? The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Surely there are better things to eat than a fucking carpet. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle. What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. No! Mr. Shums, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it, again? Yeah, she most likely did not say it. Yeah, I read, like, a bit about it. I've seen people being like, oh my god, she never actually said that, you guys! But I don't actually know, like, the real story. Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garadeb and his maid would have been hurt. Or worse. Nah, that's where you're stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said it now was at the circus. What, he just arrived there? Having been shot by a cannon? And it's like, ah, this but a flesh wound. Like, what? I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Apparently there are quite a few examples in older stories where an oblivious woman asks a poor/starving person why they do not just eat something more expensive like cake or croissant. And then people just... And the person who said that she said that started the revolution. Interesting. Ah, my dear Miss Susato. Susato. So he kind of has something against her to begin with. When he wrote that book, she was only a kid after all. Ah, okay, I see. So if she said it, she was only a kid. Like, she wouldn't have known better. Literally. My dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. I don't think... Sir, I don't think that's how it works. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. Let's fucking go. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage. That's all Mr. Schultz's deductions need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward. Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let's just start again. From the beginning. Now from the top, make it drop! Sorry. Of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Yes. She could not have said it, and most likely had no idea of the widespread starvation when she was a kid, since she lived a noble life. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, TLDR, the British hate the French. Got it. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. Okay, I've seen this part already. Yes. The beast. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast, as Rampeters, no, it's not the lion. Alright, let's go. I really didn't see the lion thing coming.
No, but if you observe Mr. Garideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yes. Something with a very fierce nature.
But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India.
So, what was it then?
We must follow Mr. Garideb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer.
Was he looking at this?
Take that!
Behind the lion statue on the mantelpiece, almost deliberately hidden from view, is a photograph. Though I have yet to examine it in detail, I can assure you that it holds the answer. Because I'm employing an extremely advanced detection technique called jumping to conclusions, you see. Oh, it's not that? That deduction was wanting in every way. Oh, that's amazing, actually. Yeah, I probably need to look at it first, you're right. Yes, I was wanting you to hear it. I'm quite proud of it. I find myself wanting never to have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. Oh, sorry, I'll try again. It's fine. Yeah, I know, destructive creature. Yeah. Inadvertently looked in the direction of something that gives its identity away. Yeah. Yeah, can I just skip this? I can't skip this part. Thank you. What's this photograph?
It appears to be from Mr. Garideb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he?
He does, but you can't make out his bride. Oh, it's the maid!
No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face.
I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. Huh. I mean, I assume it would be that. It can't really be anything else, right?
Take that!
Alright. Newlywed bride. Okay, there we go. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garideb. And while we lament on the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. He does look very happy. Oh, indeed. Surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garideb. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well,
Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself.
was there something on his face? Interesting.
Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madam?
Me? Okay, I already...
The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself.
Well, I don't know about fragile.
Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There is no sign of a Mrs. Garrideb anywhere.
But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Gee, I wonder. Indeed. Ah, there. It is the sun!
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts.
No!
Well, yeah, it's cute, except for do not say the wife left for the circus. No, it stopped like right before that. I probably could have made it say that though. But the sun and the moon thing would be cute if she wasn't abusive. I mean, I assume so, considering she rampaged the entire room and also slapped her husband. Though who knows what the fuck he did to the... Maybe he deserved it. We don't know yet. Anyways. Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my! A word! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmised, this is my wife. This is the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally corkerback. Ah! It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. Oh yeah, also she does that all the time, which seems kind of manipulative. But after all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was 2nd Lieutenant of 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Garrideb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously, but listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. I have mixed feelings about that. The nature of the beef. Beef? The beef? The nature of the beef? The nature. I was thinking the nature of the beast. Mr. Garideb's wife. That's where I got the from. But it just turned into nature of the beef. Now, Mr. Garideb. Ah, and he touches the handprint on his cheek. Alright, your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. No, it's by the handprint on his cheek. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garideb's wife a beast.
Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable.
Thank God I'm not the only one. But Mr. Garideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? But see, like, her isn't calling her a beast to be mean. He just does it because it fits. I don't know. He's neurodivergent. It's okay. I support him.
Oh, how true. He hasn't lost his beloved at all. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then.
He literally does not know any better. To him, it's just like a way to like describe, I guess, the way she's acting. Like, he doesn't mean it in a rude way, because he did say that, oh, surely it would be deemed a compliment. So clearly he's not really that aware of the impact certain words have on others. I'm just saying, I had canon him as autistic, so as you know. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garideb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose of his really signify? Slapped cheek.
Take that!
Yes, let's go. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And, of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garideb? Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide that slap mark on your cheek, sir. Oh, the blazes. How did you work that up, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. Oh, he has a moon ring, I just noticed. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garideb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. So it's not the bills.
Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder?
Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. Fleur, if you could just delete that, please. Which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrideb's wife.
Mr. Naruhodo! She's a person, not a thing.
Yes, well... Thank you. She's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact.
Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder?
I'd love to know the answer to that question. Ah, I see.
Someone must be reading this book at the moment. There is a bookmark here, look. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Okay, what do we think it says? Oh, no worries, it's fine, it's fine. I don't think this is a bookmark.
Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand.
That seems like a booty call.
Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary.
And look. That's not at all what it says. You're right. His name is John. Look next to the signature here.
Lip marks, made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture.
Get any ideas, Susato-san?
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
So this bookmark is actually a love note then?
Take that!
Okay. Hope you sleep well, and thank you so much for joining this stream for a while. Really appreciate it. Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. But I don't know the bully woman. You don't know her. That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I've been saying! A likely story. Now listen here, Joe, an old thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's what I've been saying! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. A likely story. Ma'am, I understand you're angry. But couldn't you at least give him, like, the benefit of the doubt? Like, hello? Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Ugh. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? But What's he gonna say that she did to the carpet? Did she eat the carpet? Is he gonna call her a carpet muncher? I'm sorry, anyways. The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. I'm so angry that you ate a carpet. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah! This time, madam, I am afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. Hello? Oh, Luca! Thank you so much for the follow. I am really confused. But surely Mr. Garrideb didn't eat the carpet. No, of course not. But well, it's good to see you back. It's been a while. I hope you've been doing well. Yeah, I also thought he got really excited and objected, but it was like, but that's not even his objection voice. I got like really confused there for a second. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So this is the last part of Mrs. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mr. Garrideb's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes! Well, I think it's kind of obvious that it's the candlestick. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. It looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the 3 missing from its holder? The carpet here has been ripped to shreds. Yes, and according to Mrs. Sholmes' deduction, the tears match those made by an Indian lion's teeth exactly. Oh, look here. What is it? If you look closely at the edge, you can see scorch marks. Oh yes, so you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all. Let's rethink this with that in mind. Yeah, it 100% is the candlestick.
Take that!
Yeah, boy! Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow. And of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Mrs. Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. I am glad you are back. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, For the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. Ooh, nice. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Lila is doing good. They're starting to move out of their current place and looking into moving somewhere nearby. But she also recently got sick again, so they're working on figuring out what it actually is, because it's like the third time now. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly an apt Here we go again. Like, she clearly has no trust in him. Like, it's not the doctor's fault. It's just kind of hard to diagnose certain conditions and stuff. So it's not really the doctor's fault. They're doing their best, you know. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Right to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We've had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garadeb. Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. My dad recently got diagnosed with EDS at 56, while he has been having issues with it since 20. What is EDS? I believe you may have told me that once before, actually. God, I don't remember, like, the English name for what she was previously diagnosed with. Let's see. Oh, benign vertigo. some sort of vertigo anyways. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? Is what your father has been diagnosed with. It affects your connective tissue and organs. Damn. It's so weird that so many things can go wrong in your body. I don't know, I just find it kind of fascinating in a way. Like, certain things just don't function like normally. Like, my thyroid, it like works way too hard. So I have what is called hyperthyroidism, which is not a fun time. He does not have the more serious version, which can cause heart attacks, but he does have severe pain in his legs and back. Well, heart attacks or not, it doesn't sound like a fun time. But I will say I am glad he doesn't experience the heart attacks, because that would be how can I say this? Like, that would be scary, to say the least. And are my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Oh, we love hereditary stuff. Damn, I hope you don't have it. No worries, Luca. I hope you have a good night. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books incoming 10 to the dozen. Worse if it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turn out to be correct once again. Susato, were you even present during that entire thing? Because clearly they were wrong. I mean, he was on the right track. He was just kind of like taking the wrong exits every now and then, but so it was my job to get him back on the right track. So no, his deductions were not right. And don't even try to say they was, because I did all the work. Anyways, it can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere, and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure, I can't remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So at exactly the same time, as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole of Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. What can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garridub's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. Yeah, it has to be connected. Or, like you said, no way we would be spending this much time on it if it was irrelevant. I don't know. I don't have the faintest clue. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the entire army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no! Is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now. I must prepare supper for Mr. Garridub. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Sosuke-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. Did I not go to the prison? Huh? I swear I went to the prison, didn't I? I chose prison. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. I did. Let's hail a Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something is going on over there in front of the Garridub's house. I guess it's because something scripted is about to happen. Who the fuck is this clown? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling an old man, you rum-looking nimini-pimini? Nimini-pimini? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who is this Horatio fellow, eh? What are you on about?
Excuse me.
Eh? What the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry, I just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Inosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see.
Eh? A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way for today. But you mark my words. This ain't over yet. Get thee to a nunnery. He is a theater major. Do I look like a blooming nun to you?
I do hope you're not injured.
No, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle, thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here? In the Garridub residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garridub mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemist in my bottle of words near could there be. I know it's supposed to be never, but like, how do you pronounce it? Ner? 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 I don't fucking know. Sorry? Battle, did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. But we were told that you always go to sleep at like 9. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So fair maiden, so good gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. I think he's returned to his people. It seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Sosuke-san and that man as lodgers, the garret-up house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched!
We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
Oh no! Think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese! Oh now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There is nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, is this, Funziques? No, it's Herlock. It is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the facts. Such is my belief, at least. It's you! The miserable rotten spy! Herlock Sholmes! Oh! That makes sense that it's written by Natsume, the I Am a Cat story. I believe I've read that at some point. I downloaded this app to learn Japanese at some point, and I believe that story was there to like learn kanji. I'm not really sure. Something like that. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se. Save observing, of course.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Gloomful room! At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that case, it is a superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and cost me not a penny. You! How dare you! Herlock Sholmes! Ugh. I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings, No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is be damned!
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings, and indeed, for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Tell me about the curse trial. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? Hold on, is there a lot left? No. I just have to talk to him 4 times, I believe. And that should be it. About the trial tomorrow being cursed. Oh no, why? Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away. That's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That's really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no! What do you mean? Please, tell me! Summarize it succinctly, in 16 salient words! No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly! Damn, really?
Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances.
Mr. McGill did. What? Ah, I am impressed, Mr. Susato. You have an eye for detail.
Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord von Zeeks killed the man himself.
Oh no, he couldn't have. Surely.
You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow.
Oh, yes. Why, of course he is.
Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? Let's give the man with clear anxiety some extra reason to be anxious about something he is clearly dreading. Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what's going on here. It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? The No, not cursed lodgings. Well, whatever. Let's go with that one, I guess. When you said cursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garadeb's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. Okay, it's been a year. You were right. But I'd only been in London for a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. Sorry, it's the wrong way. It's like this, right? You can't even see properly. Can't even see the fucking. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away.
You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago. Social anxiety does not make me dab. Plus had to do it too, but good on you, so secure for finish. For finding a coping strategy. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money. It appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simped and said, the room is cursed. Oops. Just like, oops. Room cursed. Oopsie poopsie. He quickly tried to cover his mistake. Oh, the room is cursed. Oops. I see. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him. If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place! Yes, well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. I would say, wouldn't that be a gas leak? If you feel like you're suffocating? And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. Or maybe the cat sleeping on his face. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really no one at all? To believe, yes, to believe. Let me just talk about the Reaper first. Van Steeks is a quite exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, that's good. Soski-san looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right, yeah, I kinda noticed. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Steeks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my! Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months, they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. To the Thames. I don't actually know how to say that. I mean, I assume it's Thames. But why the TH? Fuck English, man. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no, no, no.
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. Wait, hold on. River Thames pronunciation. There we go. River Thames.
River Thames.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck English. That's all I'm gonna say. I knew it. I'm dead. Dodo. Done for. Doomed.
I'll believe in you.
Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do for you?
It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall.
The Buria. Ah, that case. The one with the snake.
Well, yes, but it wasn't actually a snake, but whatever.
At that time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate.
I did I? Interesting.
What I want to know is why? Why did you believe me?
I see. Yes, you mean.
Because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room.
Well, if you like, yes.
I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it.
But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little.
I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me.
What?
You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in.
What?
What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned.
But I could have betrayed your trust.
In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion.
Meaning?
Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself.
Yes, he is right. He is right. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You were so right, Kazuma. Ghost Kazuma.
Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe.
Already?
Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me?
Oh dear, there is never enough time, is there? Naruhodo, just fucking say yes, okay, fine. I'll defend you, it's fine. Mr. Natsume. If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. He's like if you don't mind, like I can defend you. Like if you don't mind, I mean, Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial. What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe even. Can I has defend you? But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Look, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Miss Soto. Yes. Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. What if you just said, no, actually, I want to do some sightseeing on my own. No, fuck you. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believe in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him, to fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Yeah. Woo. Sure, I have to wait for this, and then I can... There we go. I didn't mean to do that, actually. That's where I want to go. Ha! Alright. Ha, there we go. I don't actually think it was that long. I mean, like, I guess it was like kind of long, but not really. Also, we had like the fun thing with Herlock. I love that. I love that so much, actually. The deduction thing. It's amazing. That's like my favorite part. Honestly. I like the trials too, but the jurors just kind of stress me because there's just so much back and forth. It's annoying. Really. Anyway, I'm getting kind of tired now. Yeah, but I just did part 2, right? So yeah, I almost finished investigation part 1 last time. And then I finished it today. And then I also did part 2. Which I believe is like 2 hours, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm not No, this is part 2, this is part 2. I understand your confusion though, it's fine. But yeah. With that, I think I'm gonna end it there. No ukulele cover today. I don't really have a song I want to... Or do I? I don't know. Also, by the way, the title screen is now prison. Just thought I would show that. Love it. Yes, we love prison. And what time is it? It's 10:30. No, I don't think I'm gonna do a ukulele cover today. I wanted to, but I don't think I will. I haven't really gotten that many requests either, so like, I don't know. Anyways, next stream will be, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Join my Discord if you want to be updated on when I go live. I always post there before I go live. So yeah, with that, I hope you have a lovely evening or day or wherever it is for you right now, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.